He spent 35 years saving lives. A respected doctor. A trusted name. A man no one questioned. She controlled everything behind the scenes. Schedules, staff, decisions. The hospital depended on her. But behind closed doors, they were hiding something. And when the truth finally came out, it didn't just ruin them, it shook the entire hospital. Chapter 1. The Doctor. Dr. Alan Reeves was the kind of doctor people waited weeks to see. At 61, he had built something rare, trust that couldn't be bought. Patients felt safe with him. He spoke calmly, listened carefully, never rushed anyone. Colleagues respected him. Young doctors admired him. To most people, he was more than a physician. He was a symbol of stability. Every morning, he walked through the same hospital doors at exactly 7:15 a.m. Same routine, same quiet confidence. Nothing about him suggested risk. Nothing suggested secrets. Chapter 2. The Manager. Claire Whitmore was different. Sharp, focused, always in control. She didn't just manage the hospital, she ran it. Every department answered to her. Every decision passed through her hands. People didn't just respect Claire, they feared disappointing her. She had earned her position through discipline and precision. No mistakes, no distractions. Her office sat on the administrative floor, away from patients, away from noise, a place where decisions shaped everything below. Chapter 3. First Contact. Their first real interaction wasn't memorable. A late meeting, budget adjustments, staff shortages, just numbers and reports. But it ran longer than expected. The building grew quiet, lights dimmed in the hallways, and for the first time, the conversation drifted away from work. It was small, a comment about stress, a shared laugh, a moment that felt different. Nothing inappropriate, nothing obvious, but something shifted. Chapter 4. The Pattern. After that night, meetings became more frequent, then more private, then more personal. They started choosing later hours, when fewer people were around, when silence covered everything. At first, it looked professional, two senior figures working hard. But patterns began forming. Claire visited his office more often. Dr. Reeves stayed later than usual. And slowly, their conversations changed. Less about hospital operations, more about life, regret, pressure, loneliness. The kind of conversations people don't usually have at work. Chapter 5. The Line. There's always a moment, a line that separates professional from personal. And once it's crossed, there's no going back. For them, it wasn't dramatic. No sudden confession, no impulsive decision. Just gradual closeness. Comfort turning into dependency. Dependency turning into secrecy. And secrecy turning into something neither of them planned. Chapter 6. The Late Nights. Security logs recorded everything. Entry times, exit times, door access. At first, it meant nothing. But over time, a pattern appeared. Dr. Reeves and Claire were often in the building at the same time. Late. Very late. Long after everyone else had gone home. Lights stayed on in offices that should have been empty. And no one questioned it, because no one expected it. 7. The First Suspicion. It started with a nurse. She had forgotten her phone after a long shift. When she returned to the hospital, the building was almost completely dark, but one corridor still had light, the administrative wing. As she walked past Claire's office, She noticed the door slightly open, voices inside, quiet, personal, not the tone of a meeting. She didn't stop, didn't look too closely, but she noticed enough. And once you notice something like that, you don't forget it. The whispers. At first, she kept it to herself, but silence rarely lasts. A casual comment to a colleague, a question without an answer. Why are they always here so late? The whispers spread slowly, carefully. People started paying attention, noticing small things, a look, a tone, a pattern. Nothing confirmed, but enough to create doubt. The mistake. Secrets don't last forever. They end because of mistakes. And this one was small. An email, sent late at night, not meant for anyone else, but it went to the wrong address. It wasn't explicit, but it wasn't professional. It was personal, familiar, the kind of message that revealed everything without saying too much. And once it was seen, there was no undoing it. The spread. The email didn't stay private. It moved, quietly, from one person to another. Each time the story grew stronger. The whispers became statements. The doubt became belief. And soon, it reached the people who couldn't ignore it. The investigation. The hospital board acted quickly. They had to. Reputation was at stake. Trust was at stake. An internal investigation began. Emails reviewed, security logs examined, staff questioned. And piece by piece, the truth came together. Not just a single incident, but a pattern. A hidden relationship built over time. Protected by silence. Chapter 12. The Confrontation. Dr. Reeves was called in first. He sat across from the board, calm, but not surprised. Claire followed. Same room, same silence. No dramatic denial, no emotional outburst. Because when the evidence is clear, there's nothing left to say. Chapter 13. The Fallout. The consequences were immediate. Dr. Reeves was suspended. Claire was placed on leave. The hospital tried to control the situation, but it was already spreading. Staff knew. Rumors grew louder, questions multiplied, and trust started to break. Chapter 14. Public Exposure. Once the story reached outside the hospital, everything changed. It became public. A respected doctor, a powerful manager, a secret relationship. People paid attention. Patients began canceling appointments. Families asked questions. The hospital's reputation started collapsing. Chapter 15. Personal Consequences. Behind the headlines, there were personal costs. Dr. Reeves' family felt the impact. Years of trust damaged. Claire's career, built on control, was now defined by one mistake. Colleagues distanced themselves, friendships faded, and everything they had built began to disappear. Chapter 16. The Decision. After weeks of review, the board made its decision. Both were removed from their positions. No exceptions. No second chances. Because in a place built on trust, some lines cannot be crossed. Ending. 2 careers, decades of work, all lost. Not because of one moment, but because of a series of choices. Quiet decisions, hidden actions, and one mistake that exposed everything.